Hate is a strong word, but is there a major city in the United States that you actually hate? A lot of people say that they have a city or two they hate it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to World According to Briggs and a video about cities people hate. Over the years, there have been a lot of surveys and research on how people feel about different cities and states in the United States, and actually the world. Today, we're just looking at the US. Gallup and Pew Research have done different studies on this subject. The US Census has looked at different aspects of how people feel about cities. Some travel websites have done polls, and one company actually asked truckers what cities they hate. Last week I asked the question on this channel and I got some good information from that. We took all the different studies and looked for the cities that showed up most frequently. My favorite survey asked people to name 3 cities they hate and came up with what percentage of the respondents had each city in their top 3 and the reason most often given for why they hate that city. Keep in mind we're looking at the negative side of the subject, so when you want to leave your comment, I understand that all cities on this list are not 100% bad. Like any location, whether it's a city, state, town, or country, it has some good as well. We're just looking at the negative side of it on this video. We'll do a second video where we look at the cities people love. I mean, even the ones that people love, I could tell you this is the greatest city and everyone seems to love it, but there's going to be things in there that some people don't like. Maybe it's the greatest city in the world, low taxes, low houses, great jobs, but they got horrible traffic. You know, there's always a negative, there's always a positive. Today's list is ranked on the percentage of people that listed these 10 cities in their most hated 3. All right, let's see who sucks. Number 10, Louisville, Kentucky. This one caught me a little off guard. I've been to Louisville a few times over the years, and I really liked it. The only problem I had is that I just didn't fit in. It wasn't my crowd. I did comedy there once for 3 nights, and they just didn't like me, or maybe they were jealous I had all my teeth, who knows? But Louisville, in my opinion, is a beautiful city. As I did the research for this, I found out that's not everyone's opinion. Louisville is the 16,973rd ranked city in the USA. It's kind of far down on the food chain if you ask me. Crime is 88% above the national average, and 38% of the people surveyed had Louisville in their top 3 most hated. The biggest reasons they give: crime, schools, and politics. Number 9, Miami, Florida. This isn't the first time that I've seen reports or surveys where people say that they hate Miami. Miami has a lot of good food, a diverse population, and warm weather. It also has high crime, bad schools, brutal traffic, high cost of living, and housing prices that are 35% higher than the national average. Miami is 21,552nd ranked city in the United States. 41% of the people had Miami in their 3 most hated. The reasons they give? Most often, crime, housing, and poverty. Number 8, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You know, we don't talk about Philadelphia that much on this channel. I mean, unless we're talking about like historic stuff. That's one of the best things about Philly. Their history is just outstanding. You could spend a week there and still not see everything. You can't beat it for its history, tourism, and it's no slouch when it comes to sports either. A buttload of people don't care about that stuff because they showed the city of brotherly love no love. Philadelphia is the 24,702nd ranked city in the United States. 24,000, that's weird. It's one of our best cities too, in my opinion. 44% of the people surveyed had Philadelphia in their 3 most hated cities. The reasons they gave: it's too crowded, crime, unemployment, and schools. Number 7, Riverside, California. Now, I was on the fence with this one. Riverside has never seemed like a major city to me, but I guess some people do see it that way. It fits the over 300,000 threshold barely. So technically, I guess it is a major city. It's not a mega city like Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles, but it's a major city. If you ever visit Riverside, you'll agree that this place does blow. You'll probably reflect back on this list and wonder why more people didn't say they hated it. It's the 21,748th ranked city in the United States. Kind of low on the totem pole. Not as low as Philadelphia, but still. They have high crime, bad schools, poverty, and 47% of the people had Riverside on their 3 most hated list. The reasons they gave: crime, traffic, air quality, pollution, and schools. Number 6, New York City, New York. This isn't a surprise, probably not to anyone. New York City is an acquired taste. Most people that do visit realize that that's really all they want to do is visit. And if you look at the cost of living and housing, most realize that a visit is all they can afford to do. People started flooding out of New York City a few years back, and it's not slowing down, probably anytime soon. New York City is ranked as the 18,097th city in the United States. 52% of the people surveyed had them in their top 3, and the things they listed: cost of living, cost of housing, traffic, and crime. Number 5, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is a nightmare, even more so if you add East St. Louis into that mix, which is in Illinois, not Missouri. I read a tweet once that described East St. Louis Saturday night like the D-Day invasion with better music. Yeah, they got some serious violent crime going on over there. But St. Louis doesn't have the best stats either. They're the 26,126th ranked city in the United States and the 900th best place to live in Missouri. They are knocking it out of the park in suckage. 53% of the people had St. Louis in their top 3, and the reasons they gave: crime, employment, housing, and schools. Number 4, Los Angeles, California. LA is where I was born and raised. I grew up in a nicer area called the South Bay, and it still sort of sucked. It wasn't that bad until I would say the early 90s. That's when it made a turn. It was like crime was going up and so were home prices, which never makes sense. Crime goes up, home prices are supposed to go down. That's the natural order. Not here. It's too close to the beach for that to happen. Anyway, most of LA has sucked since, I don't know, before humans got there. Really. They actually have an area called the La Brea Tar Pits that used to trap all kinds of creatures back way before people got here. Every so often, some old bones will rise to the top. It always seems to be like a woolly mammoth or mastodon. I don't know the difference between the two of them, but it's always those furry elephants. It's their bones that are always floating up to the top. I had to go like 3 field trips there when I was a kid. Everybody knows LA sucks, so I don't need to explain that to you. What I will explain to you is that it is the 27,342nd best place to live in the United States. That's not a good number. 56% of the people surveyed had Los Angeles on their 3 most hated cities. Reasons given? More than anything, it was traffic. Cost of living, it's outrageously expensive there, so you'd think it would be the cost of living. No, traffic's number 1 there. Goes traffic, cost of living, cost of housing, crime. Number 3. Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore has crime, poverty, despair, bad schools, and a sliver of hope. Really, they might be turning the corner. I keep reading more and more tech companies are moving to Baltimore or have plans to move to Baltimore. So maybe there's a future. Maybe it'll be better in years to come, but I wouldn't hold your breath. I think it's about 2 decades away. They got a giant hurdle to get over with their crime and poverty. Baltimore is the 25,000th best place to live in the United States. Yeah, 25,062 to be exact. Maryland's a pretty small state, and Baltimore is only the 400th best place to live in the entire state. 400th. 56% of the people had Baltimore in their 3 most hated list. The reason they give? Crime, poverty. Number 2, Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, I was kind of shocked at this one. I mean, most people love Las Vegas, and I think a lot of the people that put it down as their most hated places probably had something to do with them not having a good time there. I mean, a lot of people go there and lose a lot of money, and that'll kind of stick in someone's craw for quite some time. I've dropped some serious coin there over the years, and I don't feel good about it to this day. Last time I probably lost a good amount of money was over a decade ago, and it still burns like it was yesterday. So yeah, I got an axe to grind against Las Vegas too. As proof that it just may be, gambling losers that hate Las Vegas, they're ranked the 44th best city to live in Nevada. Now, Nevada doesn't have a ton of cities, but still, that's one of the lowest numbers of anything on this list, by a good stretch too. And Las Vegas is the 10,852nd best place to live in the United States. Now, keep in mind, some of these are like bordering on the 30,000th area, 20,000. That is absolutely the lowest we've had on this list. But that didn't stop 58% of the people surveyed to put down Las Vegas as one of the 3 cities they hate the most. The reasons they listed were crime and heat. That's it. They didn't have traffic or anything else. It was just crime and heat. All right, before we get to number 1, let me give you a little update on the survey we did on my channel. I asked everyone, what city do you hate the most? The 3 winners were Dallas at number 3, Portland, Oregon at number 2, and San Francisco at number 1. Oddly enough, I went back and looked at all the other research, and none of those were in the top 20. One other thing to tell you, we also have another channel called On This Day. There's a link below. We'd love it if you check it out. Maybe subscribe. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit has been in bad shape forever. We've talked about this many, many times on this channel. And I've also told you there is a glimmer of hope. Some jobs have filtered back in over the last 5-6 years. The downtown area has kind of turned itself around. It's just outside of downtown blows. And I just recently said, if you look at downtown, it looks nice. Look at it from the satellite view. They've had to tear down so many abandoned homes around the outside of downtown. It almost looks like there's farmland around Detroit in some areas. But no, it's just homes that were abandoned. Homeless people were squatting in them, setting them on fire sometimes. So just to cut out some of the problems, they just decided to start mowing them over. That's how bad Detroit has been, where they have homes that are a complete loss. People have abandoned them, and the city's got to just mow them down because no one's taking care of them. Think about any other city in the United States. Most of us would just, love to have a home that we could move into for a good price. Detroit at one point was offering to sell homes for $1, and they still couldn't unload them. I'm not even joking, $1. Detroit is the 655th ranked city in Michigan, and in the United States, it's ranked 26,879th. Yeah, that blows. 62% of the people surveyed had Detroit down on their list as one of the 3 they hated the most. Reasons given: crime, poverty, and unemployment. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.